Yo, Treveal C.W. Lynch, iAMthepossible, potential performance, and this is part 2. My story, my struggle, my success. Yo, man, before I jump into it this week, I just want to remind everybody out there why I'm doing this, why I'm sharing my story, my struggle, my success. I'm sharing it because I know someone needs to hear it. Life gives life. Stories give life, man. When you can see somebody go through something and come out the other side, it gives life. Many times, people are looking for a reason to go. People are looking for some sort of encouragement, some sort of inspiration. They're waiting for somebody to go first. And what I find is that when a story is told, it gives people permission to move. It gives life, man. It helps people get through what they're going through. So, yo, man, my prayer is that this video gets to the right people at the right time, and that it speaks to their hearts, man, and that it encourages them. So, if you're watching this video may not be for you, but it may be for somebody that you know. So whether it's for you or someone else, I pray that you're blessed and that you're encouraged by my story. Coming to you live and direct this week from the inside of my car, man, because as I look back over my life, the car was always a place that I ran to. It was always a place that I got away. It was always a place where, man, whether I was afraid, whether I was pissed off, whether I was, confused, it was a place that I got to escape, whether I was escaping from a situation or whether I was trying to escape from my reality. I would always run to a car. I would always get in my car and sit or drive and get to a place, man, where I was isolated by myself, and I would think, or I would cry, or I would stress out, or I would do whatever I did, man. I did a lot of soul searching, a lot of time spent in the car. And so as I think back over my life, the struggle that I wanted to share this week was, I guess you want to call it a broken home. I was born in the Chi, Cook County. And around the age of 7, 8, moms and grandma moved us to Toledo, Ohio, and from there, man, Pop stayed out in the Chi, and so no fault of Pop's. I'll share that testimony at a later time, but I ain't got nothing against Pops. He did his best with what he had, man, at the time. But when we made that transition, when we made that move, Pops wasn't with us anymore. And so I was essentially raised by my grandmother for, soon after we got out to, Toledo, man, Mom's got off into some drugs, alcohol, and, she got, always hooking up with cats that, physically abused her. So she was getting hit from every side, man. Mental abuse, physical abuse, emotional, and so my home, although I lived with my grandmother, and she did the best she could do. Again, man, she provided me everything that she could provide me. My home life with my grandmother was good. I really cannot complain. She got me through school. She kept food on the table, clothes on my back. So, big shout out to grandma. It was no fault of her own, none of that. But even though grandma did her best, what she couldn't protect me from was the mental stress, the mental anguish, the mental beatdown, man, of living without Pops, not having a father, not having a man to look to. Always think about it like, now, nowadays I got 4 kids, I got a wife, and it's like you know, trying to raise a family and lead a family, when I look back over my life, like, I didn't have a role model. I didn't have an example of a father. I didn't have somebody in my life that said, yo, this is the picture of a man. This is what a man looks like. This is what a man does. This is how a man takes care of business. I didn't have that. The men around me were, you know, abusive to women, putting their hands on women, you know, having sex with you know, multiple women, you know, no healthy marriages, you know, no real, you know, nurturing father-like examples, you know what I'm saying, where they raise their kids real well. Just like my picture of a man was the dope boy on the block, some dude smacking some woman around, you know, some dude trying to be a pimp or a hustler, you know, just garbage. So my view of a man was totally garbage. And so obviously, what did that do for me? It didn't, you know, help me become or mature into or develop into any type of real man. So I'm running the streets, you know, out and about, man, getting into all types of crazy situations, all types of crazy, you know, company, you know, people that was no good for me. And, you know, even like I told my story, man, there was a time where there was a gun to my head, but that was one of multiple times. And that was one of multiple times where my life was in danger. I mean, I've had guns put to my head, knives put to my head. I've had my life threatened. I mean, it's been craziness. But I think a lot of it had to do with, again, no example, no leadership in my life from a male role model or a male perspective. And so I was left to try to figure it out. And if the dope boy on the block, the gangbanger, the dude beating up on some woman, if that was the only picture you have, then those are the only things that you can pull from. And so, not to say that I did a lot of those things, it was just the fact that if that's the only picture I had, which it was, I found myself in some real rough situations more times than I really should have. And I was exposed to some things that a young man should have never been exposed to. Also, you know, with moms, man, you know, growing up with moms, you know, being there, but not being there, you know, drugs and, you know, drinking. You're not yourself. You're not really who you are. You know, you're physically there, but you're not really mentally there. So, you know, moms was in my life. And again, she did the best she could do. And now when I look back, I mean, I have nothing but great things to say about moms. You know, she passed away, you know, a few years back. And, you know, one thing I can say is that, you know, before she passed away, you know, she was born again, gave her life to the Lord. So I believe she's in heaven, man. I believe for all the pain and all the suffering that she went through, you know, that we all went through, that she's at rest now, and that she's being rewarded, man. So I'm not dogging on moms. I'm just saying the life that she chose to live for the majority of her life, and what I witnessed for the majority of her life, it was rough, man. You know, seeing her, you know, abuse, you know, crack cocaine, you know, seeing her, you know, drinking the liquor constantly, you know, always high, always drunk, seeing her in fights, seeing her, you know, getting cussed out and seeing her cuss other people out. And I think the thing that probably broke my heart the most, man, was seeing her abused by men, you know, and me being a young guy, man, not being able to defend her. You know, Pops wasn't there, you know, to defend, and nobody was there to come to her rescue. You know, I remember one time I was coming down the steps of my house, and you know, I saw Mom's off in the distance. She was coming up the block, and so I get to run into her because I'm just like, yo, you know, there go Mom's. You know, I'm just happy to see her. And the closer I get, man, the more I could tell something wasn't right. And you know, right when I got right up to her, the whole side of her face was you know, beat up, and her whole eye was closed up and you know, purple. And I remember her words to me, you know, don't worry, baby. You know, don't worry. You know, it's okay. Don't be mad at him. And I guess the saddest part is I don't even remember who him was, because it seemed like every relationship she was in, she was with some knucklehead that put his hands on her. I don't remember one dude that my mom dated, not one that didn't beat her physically, that didn't, you know, verbally abuse her, didn't cuss her out. And these cats didn't care if I was there, if, you know, we out on the block, you know, in front of other people. I mean, they weren't trying to keep it secret. I mean, these were some dogs, man, you know, and growing up, and I was like, yo, that's my mom's, man, you know, and you know, being a little guy, seeing these grown men, you know, physically, you know, beat your moms, and then, you know, disrespect her to her face, you know, disrespecting her in front of me, in front of, you know, in front of other people, you know, that does something to you. You know, not only do you live with rage and live with fear and live with this anger, man, but it's like that impacts my identity. It impacts who I think I am. It impacted my self-esteem, because I'm like, yo, Pops is somewhere, you know, at the time, it's like, I don't know where my Pops is. And then I'm watching moms go through this, and I'm like, this is what I come from. Is this who I am? I mean, this is what I come from. I'm ashamed of both of them at the time. Now, again, the testimony is me and Pops. Today, we cool. I ain't got nothing but love for Pops, man. We communicate, we chop it up. You know, we visit, you know, when we can. The story ends well for me and Pops. The story ended well for me and Moms. I'm just giving you what I went through at that time. You know, as a little man at that time, where's my dad? At that time, why is Mom getting beat? Why is Mom on these drugs? Why is Mom always on that bottle? Why every time I see her, she drunk, high, and beat up half to death? How come every time I'm around, you know, moms, how come, you know, every time I'm around this situation, it's fearful, it's stressful? It's crazy, man. It's crazy, because it translates, you know, so much into who you grow up to be, and it translates so much into, you know, just how you process you, how you feel about you, how you think about you, you know, all of that, man. Watching these images, watching these pictures, going through these situations, it damaged who I thought I was. It damaged how I felt about me. You know, you embarrassed your family. You're like, you don't feel good about your people. You know, it wasn't no going to school, and, you know, what I'm able to provide for my kids today, I just didn't have. You know, I just didn't have that. I mean, I'm not showing up to school, you know, I don't know, parent-teacher conference, let's just say. You know, I wasn't walking in with Mom and Dad, so I don't know what that feels like. I do know what it feels like today to be a father that even today, you know, I'm able to stand by my children's side. I'm able to, you know, be a father and show them what a man looks like to the best of my ability. But, you know, I'm present. You know, I come home every night. You know, I go to work every day. You know, I'm building a business. I'm building a dream. You know, I'm telling them who they are. I'm telling them that they can. You know, I'm like making up for everything that I didn't have. But my story goes, my house was broken, man. Not the house I was living in with grandma, but the house called my heart, man. The house called my head. They were broken, man. They were busted up. I ain't feel good about me, moms, pops, life. I ain't feel good about none of that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even going into other family members I ain't gonna even put out there. I'm just saying, everywhere I looked, poor example, everywhere I looked, what is this? You know, everywhere I looked, who am I? You know, and yo, shout out to any Any family members that's watching this, uncles, aunts, look, man, nothing but love for y'all. Ain't talking bad on y'all. Y'all know what went down. That is what it is. I'm not putting this out to talk bad about nobody. I'm not putting this out to dog my family or to make nobody feel bad or to make nobody feel like I'm, trying to put y'all out there. That ain't what it is. All this is me coming real, saying I've been through some hell on earth, but by God's grace and his mercy, I have made it out. I have come out. I've come out, of this fire with no smell of smoke. You feel me? I've come out of this, unscathed by the grace and mercy of God, man. So this is for his glory. This is for those who are out there that's still struggling, those who are out there that's still going through, man. Be encouraged. I made it out, not because I'm so great or so smart, but because God, loves us enough, man, that if we give him a chance, and I'll share that testimony soon, man. When we give him a chance, he will redeem our life, man. He will redeem everything. He'll make everything right. Everything that was wrong, he'll make right. Like I said, man, I didn't have Pops until 23, but the last, 10, 15 years with Pops, whatever it's been, man, thank God, the relationship is back. Early years with moms, like I said, all these different things happened, but again, she ended well, man. She ended with the Lord. She ended going to church, serving in the church, singing in the choir. So yo, man, she's resting in heaven. So all these things, I just share them, praying that you hear my heart, and that you can relate on some level. Like I always say, the story might not be the same, but the struggle, man, and the pain, we can share in, because you might not have this broken house, this broken home, this broken situation. That might not be your story, but you going through something, or you've been through something, and on that level we can relate. On that level we can say, yo, man, I feel you, you feel me, and that's why I'm sharing this story. So somebody out there, man, be encouraged. Treveal C.W. Lynch, I Am the Possible, Potential Performance, Part 2, man. My story, my struggle, my success, broken home, no Pops, mom in bad shape, but look at me now, man. Much more to come, man. Part 3 next week. Be sure to share this, man. Be sure to like this. Be sure to, let somebody know that you think may need to hear this, or maybe going through something themselves, or it might be you. So I pray that in some way, somehow, man, something I said encourages you. Obviously this ain't the whole story, man. I can't take up too much more time. Got to keep these videos somewhat short. But I think you get enough of an idea and a picture of what the home life was. Again, man, wow, I've come a long way, and I got a lot more to go, a lot more to do. So stay with me, man. Yo, till next time, be encouraged, be inspired, most importantly, and most of all, be your possible.